Hello one and all, this is Nerdcraft here, bringing you a 1v1 ladder match from Europe on the Tall Dream Altar. Here, spawning in the upper right-hand corner is our red Terran player, Show of Dignitas. DignitasSjow is what I meant to say, then I said Show, and then I'm like, oh crap, he's part of Dignitas, and it just kind of all... And that's how we got to this situation right now. But anyway, here, spawning on the upper left-hand corner is our blue Zerg, LiquidTLO, also known as Game of Drones when he plays Zerg. And TVZ on Tall Dream Altar. Oh, holy crap, you cannot ask for a better matchup, really. I mean, it's so cool. The only thing that can compare to the epicness that's going to go down in this game was Hazuabs versus Grubby in the Winter Arena qualifiers for MLG. Holy crap, I never thought I'd be so entertained by a PvP. For those of you who haven't seen it, go to MLG. Go to MLG, their Pro Circuit website. Go to VODs for the Winter Winter Qualifiers brackets. Watch that game between Hazuabs and Grubby. I am in no way affiliated with MLG, but all I'm affiliated with is StarCraft 2, and if there's a great game of StarCraft 2 out there, a great series that people don't know of, I have to make sure they know about it. In fact, funny story, so I'm talking to one of my friends who works for my university, and I was like, oh yeah, DreamHack's coming up this summer. It's gonna be so awesome and everything. And she's just like, what's DreamHack? I'm like, what? And she's like, no, seriously, what's DreamHack? And I'm just like, what? It's a huge LAN. It's like the biggest LAN party in the world. It takes place in Sweden during the winter and England during the summer. Correct me if I got that wrong, but I know they recently started doing events in England. And she's like, well, what do they do? I'm like, well, they have huge gaming tournaments. Like, what kind of games? Like StarCraft 2. What is StarCraft 2? Oh my God, is what I said. And I explained all of esports to her and StarCraft 2 and everything. And she's just like, wow, that sounds really cool. I'm going to have to check that out. I'm like, yeah, it sounds cool. It's the coolest freaking thing ever. It's one of the most rapidly growing industries in America as well. So anyways, we can see this Overlord making its slow way across the map. Teal has already scouted cross positions, so that just makes it so he has to scout either here or here, and the Overlord is going to handle that. Yeah, man, it sucked to be an Overlord, really. I'd hate it, just like, la-di-da-di-da, I am doing nothing but floating through the air, floating through the air, floating through the air. I'm going to stop that now, because now I'm going to get that song stuck in my head. Now we can see Show is going for a Reaper Expo. Interesting, because he's going Reaper into Factory, which you usually don't see. You usually see Reaper then the expansion. And now TLO knows of Show's presence. He's going to try and scout around to see what he can find. You can already tell that there's no 2 racks going down, because there's a lack of a bunker in TLO's natural. So Show, he's just going to go for that Reaper expand. There's a lot of different things, a lot of different opinions about the Reaper expand. There's some players, like I think it was Nama, who just doesn't agree with it. He thinks it does nothing. The Reapers are bad. And there's other people like Show and Rotterdam, or not Rotterdam, but Mr. Bitter in particular, who really love it. And oh man, I thought I put myself to busy. Apparently I didn't. So it's pretty much based on the player that they'll go for a Reaper Expo, and I like it. I like it because it puts that early harass pressure onto the opponent. It kind of starts getting them going, and it's a lot faster than like a Reactored Hellion build. And as you can see here, speaking of which, he is not going for it. Oh man, I was hoping for some Reactored Hellions. I love Hellions, they're so awesome. And this Queen just sitting on the edge, she's waiting for any Reapers to come. There's a second Queen and a Spinecrawler coming up. They see the Hellion. So I don't know if this is just Show playing mind games, because that incited TLO to make another Spinecrawler, and this is just going to get the full scout. It's not going to pick off anything. It's going to take the right amount of drones, or the right amount of SCVs you need to one-hit drones, I believe, is 3. So that's what that is, and the Reapers coming in. They're going to quickly sit back because of those Queens, who are very angry at the very prospect of some dude with 2 pistols and grenades on jetpacks jumping over their cliff into their hatchery and taking out their drones. They just don't like it. Queens can be pretty mean at times. A lot of people think, oh yeah, Queens are always, they're sweet, peaceful people. Just look at Queen Elizabeth. But no, not a Zerg Queen. A Zerg Queen, she is balls to the wall, hardcore. She will rip your throat out if you so dares touch a drone. She'll try to rip your throat out at least, but unfortunately she only has 4 damage. So not going to be ripping out any throats in the fastest means necessary. And we can see that TLO is going for a Roach Warren. I like this a lot. Roaches are something I feel are very underutilized in TVZ because, hey man, TVZ is it's mainly marine tank. So how do you counter that? Well, you make a lot of freaking roaches, I think. Roaches, believe when they're 1 upgrade, they do a 2-shot to marines, and they can soak up a lot of damage because they're nice and armored. And we can see the drop here coming down with a tank in it. Siege mode is about 10 blizzard seconds away from finishing. Reapers and marines in this, actually a single marine and 3 reapers. But this tank does not have siege. TLO is going to try and get away because he knows that siege is on its way. He used to play Terran. He knows how Terran works. And siege mode is done. I'm surprised that Show is not sieging up at all. Only 2 queens and a handful of lings are going to be able to defend this. Again, Show not sieging up that tank. He could have done a lot more damage, but unfortunately it does go down. Surprisingly enough, not losing a single queen in that pressure. Actually, wait, yes, TLO did lose 1 queen, which is actually pretty good considering he had 3 queens, but he's only on 2 base, so that is actually really good from TLO. He's able to save 2 queens. Losing 1 queen, that's okay because that's like your like creep spreader. You can easily remake that. But losing a queen when you only have 2 queens, that's a larva inject. That is very bad. That's not good at all. And as you can see here, some roach pressure is going to be put on by TLO. He's moving forward. Only 4 roaches, slowly skimpering across the Tall Dream altar. There are 2 tanks, however, and they do have siege mode. So as soon as TLO sees the siege going down, he is going to get out of there. Unfortunately, not fast enough, and he loses 2 roaches to a volley of tanks. And these Reapers, I like how much Reapers that Show is using with this entire build. Reapers are something, again, they're also very underutilized, I feel, because they're such a great harassment potential, and sure, they're easily countered in the beginning of the game, but why not a late game harassing? They wouldn't see it coming, really. It's like, Reapers, what? They can take out so many drones when it's really important. But anyways, you see here, another drop going down. 1, 2, 3 Marines, 4 Marines, and 2 Reapers coming in. And this angry queen, she's going to try and go for the medevac. She's going to try to go for the vessel that brought down this doom upon her hatchery. And she also lives as well. 2 roaches finally get in there. They was like, hey guys, what's up? What's up? What'd I miss? What'd I miss? And then everyone's like looking at them with a facepalm. It's like, wow, really? You're finally here? It's like, yeah, what's wrong with that? Overlord going to be taken down. Unfortunately, not going to... Yes, it is going to supply block TLO by just 1, so he can make like a single drone. Global Reconstitution as well as level 1 attack and carapace coming up for our Zerg player. I just heard like kind of like that sound, and I'm like, where did that come from? That was weird. And as you can see here, the drop going back and forth there for Show. This medevac's just like, lol, I'm out of here, leaving the Reapers and Marines defend for themselves against roaches, which is never a good idea. I mean, if you're a Marine, I think if I was a Space Marine in space, with this giant Space Marine in space, and that's redundant, and I had this massive like 50 cal Gauss rifle and this huge suit of armor, I think even though I had this awesome gun and this huge suit of armor, I think the last thing I would want to come across is one of these guys, because just look at them. I mean, they look like they're made of very, very durable materials, so I don't think they'll go down that fast. As we can see here, TLO going for a double expansion. This is very TLO-like because he's a very, very unpredictable creative player. This one actually went down before this one, so if Show sees... actually, I'm curious to see if Show knows about that expansion at all. He doesn't even know the creep spreads, so if he scouts this 3rd, he's going to be like, oh, he's finally getting his 3rd, you know, this is all standard, this is good. I can just get my 3rd, or even stay on 2 bases and, you know, still hold him off. But no, unfortunately for Show, TLO is going to be on 4 bases, and still no scouting for Show. And man, look at TLO's creep spread. That is something he is really good at. I like it a lot, just creep everywhere. And this is the 13-minute mark, and he's already to the first watchtower on Tall... Well, actually, the 2 watchtowers that are close to him. He's already all the way there. Wow, he's pretty good. And as you can see, he's just spreading this creep all the way to the 3rd with the help of overlords. Unfortunately, there's like a cutoff of creep right here. So there's a small little hole right here that TLO can't actually see anything. And these Marines coming forward with 5 tanks. And this creep sweep going down. And the Marines coming up, they are level 1 weapons, and they have stim but no combat shield. Very interesting enough. Yeah, no combat shield. Siege mode coming up. He's going to abuse this cliff. This is very common to abuse this cliff as a Terran player. with siege tanks, and I'm surprised that Show doesn't actually move his tanks forward. Just barely in range of those roaches, just barely in range. 2 infestors are already out, 1 infestor on its way, and burrow just about to finish right now. So I wouldn't be surprised to see these infestors burrow and drop some infested Terran down on these tanks. And as you can see here that the roaches and infestors getting ready to go, and man, TLO is just biding his time. He's waiting for him to have the right amount of things. As we can see, 14 roaches are coming up. Infested Terran going down. You're going to draw the siege tank fire, but Show on top of it, he is going to focus down the roaches right as soon as he sees them. But unfortunately, there's just too many roaches, and he's going to be able to clean up all this. Actually, wait, there's 2 more tanks in the back here. He's not going to be able to clean this up at all. And 6 more roaches coming out here for TLO. Pneumatized Carapace has finished, and there's another handful of roaches here coming in, and they're going to try and see what they can do. Unfortunately, they only take out 1 tank for the cost of 8 roaches, which is, or no, for the cost of 2 roaches. That's never good, and I do not know what those overlords were doing there. They're just like, lol, look at me, I am awesome. But no, unfortunately, Overlord, you are not that awesome because you can only spread creep. A lot of medevacs out here for Show. I just want to point that out. 7 medevacs for to 18 Marines. So these Marines are going to be really well healed. This infestor better not be caught out of position. He does see it. Nice fungal growth there going off on those Marines, and the infestor runs away. I think it's still being seen. No, now lings are finally being made there by TLO, which is it's a bit of the norm. With Destiny's style of Zerg play, he has pretty much made it so that lings and infestors are what you need against Terran as well as Mutalisks. As you can see, finally cleaning up by getting that nice flanking maneuver there from TLO, getting that nice flanking maneuver over there. I was going to say TLO getting that nice flanking maneuver from TLO. It's like, well, yeah, of course it's from TLO because I just said TLO did it. Man, I'm kind of redundant today, aren't I? Or not redundant, but repetitive. That's the word. As you see, this hatchery has been scouted by Show. He kind of sounded like, oh crap, how long was that there? So I don't know if he has any idea how long it was been there. If you could check the mineral fields if he really wants to get an idea. 2 infestors on their way, and now they're going to drop. I really need to learn how to do that. The roach is going to come up, but they went the wrong way, unfortunately. But there's more roaches over here. They're going to clean up the rest of this. No, actually, only 3 Marines killed, and the rest are picked up. Roaches burrowing, going to heal themselves a bit, and now they're going to go for this 3rd, and there's a lot of overlords there, and TLO being consistently supply blocked by Show is not good at all for him. Of course, being supply blocked is never good, and this orbital command, not sure what it's doing, but you know, just waiting for this creep to recede over there. But at first, he was gonna try and want to kill some creep to him. It's like, wait, scan that again, dude. I'll totally crush it. Looks like this drop wasn't exactly successful. As you can see, Shows medevac only 2 Marines in it. That's mainly because these roaches were ready. Kind of predictable when it comes to drops. It's like if you see one drop and you see it get up and then go somewhere else, it's kind of like, oh, I know where that's gonna go. And wow, holy medevacs! There are 9 medevacs to 9 freaking medevacs to 33 Marines here. There's apparently 11 medevacs. There's one right here, and then another one over there. And here we can see that the infestors being pretty bold and going for those fungals. You're just wearing down those medevacs. Of course, it's probably better to be to wear down a medevac by being a Protoss player and having high Templar. As you see, this base once again being sieged up, but just out of range. So looks like that's not going to really be utilized well by Show. And as you can see here, overlords, infestors, and lings. Interesting. These do not have ventral sacks, so I don't know why he's bringing these overlords with him. Mainly kind of trying to draw the marine fire, but no, they're actually going back because there's a huge run by, a roach run by. Those are the worst run bys, and here come the lings to reinforce the roaches. They're going to try and get a surround on these Marines, but it's so many medevacs. These Marines are going to go down really. It's going to take a while for those Marines to go down. They also have level 1 armor that just recently got researched for Show, and just more Marines and more medevacs coming over here from Show. I mean, he pretty much has the amount of tanks that he wants until they got surrounded and killed off. And isn't that annoying? One ling is going to take out those tanks. That is really annoying. That roach is going to go down really quickly. But that is annoying. I mean, you're going to lose 2 tanks to a single ling. Oh, man. And the single ling is on 10 health. Talk about annoyances. That ling is a baller ling, and he will forever be remembered. Now, we can see the Baneling Nest is finally finished. Centrifugal hooks are on their way as well as level 2 Carapace. A lot of people don't really think about it, but Carapace for banelings is actually very important. It makes it so it takes 2 volleys to kill them instead of 1 volley from the tanks, and that's very important because you want to make sure by the time your banelings are in the Terran army, they are not dead from those tanks. They're hitting Marines and they're not just exploding on creep because of a tank. And as you can see, this fort is going to be sieged up and taken out. It's going to be hard for TLO to reinforce at all, and God, I can't see the tanks at all because of these medevacs. Too many medevacs. These Marines steaming on over. They want in on the action. Unfortunately, they all die, and just again, TLO being supply block. You should probably burrow these drones if he wants to save them. That'll be really good. And that Marine being a little too over anxious about killing that Overlord, he's just gonna pay for it by getting surrounded by lings, and all 4 drones go down. It's so sad. You could have just solved that with a simple burrow and then reestablished that. As you can see that there's been a lot of roaches hacking away at the inside of Show's base, so I think we might be seeing a base race scenario. Show picking up the remainder of his SCVs, and then I love this what TLO is doing. He's burrowing a couple of roaches every now and then. There was 2 burrowed over here, and he's just burrowing them, and just so that way once it finally comes in, it's just like, oh hey, I still have roaches. And we see here that the 3rd is being sieged up by Show. Man, there's just action going on everywhere. Show's going to bring his orbital command over here and try to reestablish himself. Looks like we are going to be in a bit of a race. Base race scenario, but I think TLO is going to be just fine because he has 17 Balins being morphed as we speak, and Show does not know about it. Oh, Balin landmines, oh, just so close. I gotta see this, no, oh, come on, some Marines get on them. A lot of Marines get on those Balins. I love Balin landmines. It's like the coolest thing ever. All those Balins unfortunately going down. Fungal holding some Marines in place. Oh, big group go. Oh, it's so close. So close. And here come the roaches and the infestors. They're going to start crashing on this. And unfortunately, those Balin landmines were not utilized at all. Oh, man, Show, why did you have to place your Marines in such stupid places? And there's still the tanks there, but I thought everything was cleaned up. No, the Marines are still there. The infestors, these last 2 infestors trying to make their stand, and the Balins unburrow and take out the tanks. That is huge because now there's no support for these Marines, but unfortunately there's nothing for TLO. Everything for TLO is over here, burrowed or just waiting for a command center to land, and the 3 roaches here trying to take out a planetary, but that's never going to go good for the roaches. We can see mass pickup there from Show. Jeez, so many medevacs. That's just a ridiculous amount of medevacs. How much is that? That's 14. Wow. And this medevac's over here. Well, that's actually 13. This medevac's over here just chilling. Now, Show has reestablished his base down over here. This game is crazy. Of course, it's always going to be crazy when TLO is in it, but this is just like stupid crazy. Not stupid crazy, though. It's like, oh, this is stupid. There's so much stuff happening, but it's kind of stupid crazy where it's like, I'm going to go stupid if I keep watching this because my mind's going to blow up from this sheer awesome. That's the kind of stupid crazy I'm thinking. So you can see a bunch of overlords over here spreading some creep, trying to make sure that Show can't reestablish, but unfortunately he already has, and has not been scouted by TLO at all. Yep. For all TLO knows, there's still some creep over there, and Roach goes down. Oof, man, that's its spine right there. More roaches coming in, though. They're going to be able to clean up this tank. And the medevac does not come in. She's like, I'll save you, Mr. Tank. And the tank's like, fueled up, ready to go. Because that's what the tank says. And he also never treads lightly, in case you didn't know that. But unfortunately, the medevac did not get there. She's like, oh, well, she just shrugs it off. Just another day at the office. These 2 roaches burrowed over there right next to the Marines. That is annoying. I like how much TLO actually utilizes the burrow mechanic. That's a very, very great mechanic for the Zerg, and just Baneling landmines everywhere over here. Even if Show reestablishes his expansion, this is not going to be a very safe expansion. Look at the little roach's head poke out of the ground. That's so cute. These roaches are going to be able to take out these Marines. There's not much Marines, and there's even Balin, so even if a bunch of Marines came over, come on, I want to see a lot of Marines go. Yes, yo! The Balin landmines going down on all those Marines, clean up a majority of them. Now Show realizes, crap, he is going to be utilizing Balin landmines, and that means that I cannot buy mules. I'm going to have to save at least 1 scan every time I move out, and I only have 2 orbital commands, one of which is landed. So now Show is definitely in trouble. I can't believe we're at the 27-minute mark, and it's 90 to 74 in supply. This game it's so crazy, the amount of aggression from both of them. TLO, the Balins, oh, another great Balin landmine going down for TLO. Oh, these Balin landmines are just sick as can be. There's even a burrowed infestor right there. He's just waiting for his victims. This Zergling's like, I'm a total baller. I'm going to take out a tech lab. Look at me go, mom. The mom being the Overmind, who I think is kind of a guy, so technically dad. And these roaches are just, they have not been dying at all. They're on hold position, so they're slowly being killed off by a Marine. I mean, there's, wow, just 4, 3, 2 kills, and they burrow to heal back up. And Ling's taking out this mule and as well as this orbital command, and just again TLO is on top of everything. He's been sending his overlords everywhere to make sure that he knows where Show's trying to reestablish. 4 roaches just sitting over there in the main, and looks like they are going to go down. This game is just, I think this is officially the craziest game I've ever played. Infester's going down. They're going to go off the last remaining SCVs of Show, and luckily there are 2 roaches there to able to assist those infestors and not lose them. Burrow going down, and they are just going to try and get out of there. But of course, if you look very closely, you can see that they're moving. And see over here again, Lings, small amounts of Lings, just denying that mining, as well as slowly picking away at these expansions. And there's a small contingency of Marines over there. It looks like that medevac finally moved out. Holy crap! This game is just. This is officially the coolest game I've ever casted. Huge fungal growth, 1 more, and all those medevacs are dead, and those medevacs are what keeping Show alive. Scan goes down, and both of the infestors go down as well. That is not good at all for TLO. Let's just look at the income for both of them. 140 to 40 and 0 gas. Holy crap. I mean, this game is just ridiculously awesome. I'm so glad I decided to cast this game. I was actually looking at this game like, I don't know if I should cast this game. I mean, I've been doing a lot of like Liquid games, and I've been doing a lot of TVZ, TVT, TVP. There's just been a lot of tearing. So I promise you guys that I'm going to do a lot of PVZ and ZVZ, maybe even some PvP if I find a good one. 2 Balins be made in a single infestor. Now that infestor could do a lot of freaking damage. If it gets 1 good fungal off on all these medevacs, all of them will go down. And even better yet, if he like loads up all of his medevacs. Balin's getting ready to take out. They do burrow, trying to predict where the drops are going to happen, but not going to be using a drop. I want to see this infestor get a huge fungal on those medevacs. It's just going to be insane if he does. Looks like this orbital command is finally going to have to go. Show severely supply block because all of his tech, all of his production facilities are slowly being picked away, and this game is still going strong by the looks of it. I just want to look at the income again. Finally, TLO kicking up his economy with those drones. Unfortunately, he is going to have to expand soon. He luckily does have enough minerals to do so. And Show, on the other hand, he is trying to travel the map, trying to figure out where can he land that TLO does not know. He could try over here and over here, but that's pretty dangerously close to the Zerg. And going to try and clean up everything else that's in his base with these Marines. It's just been pure Marine against Roach, Infestor, Baneling, which is not exactly a great composition for Show. And the problem is that all of his orbital commands are flying around minus this planetary, so he's not going to be able to put down scans to take out these. Oh my lord, there's that fungal growth I was looking for. Takes out every single medevac except for 4. Oh man, and he's just going to have to and he is forced to land right there, not able to take out the Zergling that is just unfortunately keeping him from utilizing it. And fungal growth goes down. That infestor trying to be sneaky around, takes out another medevac. There are now only 2 medevacs left on the field for Show. Holy crap, this game. And these 2 roaches over here trying to pick away at the supply depots. They are not going to notice the Marines that are slowly shooting away at their back, which inevitably causes them to explode. That's never a good thing. And we can see more infestors going around for TLO. TLO has a firm lead in this game. There is a single missile turret over there. Infested Terran trying to take it out. Looks like they are going to achieve that. But more Infested Terran going down. They're going to be able to take out all these SCVs and supply depots right as Show finally becomes unblocked. He is going to lose his ability to supply himself essentially. And these barracks in fact are being worked as a makeshift wall here. As you can see, the tech lab goes down. He's going to want to start getting his tanks. But look what we have over here. More Lings, Infestors, Roaches, and Banelings coming in. 1 Infestor, actually that's very clever from TLO, only burrowing the 1 Infestor that's almost dead. Bunker right there, as well as the missile turret. So it's luckily going to be able to be seen if the infestor comes burrowing over in. Fungal growth goes off on these marines, but they're just not dying. That medevac is so close to dying. Another Baneling landmine. Ooh, what does Nerdcraft love? Nerdcraft loves Baneling landmines. He gets nerd chills all up and down his spine when he sees those. So Show's just on 2 bases now, most of which are pretty close to being mined out. And TLO, he's finally got his 3rd established, as we can see here. He's going to get that saturated. And there's 92 supply to 40 supply, 52 supply lead there for TLO. Again, being supply blocked, just cleaning up this entire main. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's all the mineral patches are cleaned up, but there was so much tech and so much supply depots in here that it's really hard for Show. I honestly don't see how he can come back from this, but he sees it. He sees it, and I don't. So, you know, he's a better player than I am. So I'm going to take his word for it that there's a way, because, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. And Roach is just coming in, slowly picking off, you know, small amounts of SCVs and Marines. 3 Marines being produced right now from 3 barracks. So there's not even any reactors or anything for that. He can't afford it. And these Roaches using the low ground with the Overlord, and Infestitarian going down as well. I would not be surprised to see a GG from Show at all by now. Sometimes I'm kind of half thinking that they're not actually playing seriously, but they're just, you know, like dicking around, or this could have been from like a team battle or something. I don't know. It just said that this were TLO ladder matches, and another fungal going down on those Marines. They're like, oh man, all this goop. It's disgusting. Finally, it's off, and we're getting healed up. Ooh, this feels nice. All of a sudden, bam, another fungal growth. It's like, oh, come on. And this infestor getting pretty bold, going for the fungal growth on all the SCVs. Ooh, man, I wonder how much SCV Show has. It's surprisingly even when it comes to the harvester counts. 22 to 26 harvesters with TLO in the lead. They're both just really committed to getting that army going, and looks like Show is slowly starting to claw his way back. He finally was able to clean up a majority of the enemy units in his base, and unfortunately does not see that Baneling right there. And looks like he's gonna get ready for a drop. He's gonna try and drop over here or here, try to take out that tech, which there's a lot of tech. The Spire's been up for I don't know how long, and not even a single Mutalisk was made, nor a Corruptor, nor Broodlord. Of course, there's no Broodlord. It's not a Greater Spire yet. And here comes the drop. Unfortunately, he's dropping in the wrong spot because he's about to drop over Baneling landmines. Nice fungal going off there by TLO. No Marines able to get out, and looks like everything else is gonna go down for Show. Ooh, another fungal growth, and those Marines are dead. Oh man, losing 6 Marines to 1 fungal growth, and both his medevacs. And Show, he's defending here. He's just like, this is the last stand. This is like Last Stand Hill in the Battle of the Little Bighorn, where Custer says he gets on top of that hill. This being the hill, he dismounts and uses the remaining horses of their unit brigade as a makeshift barrier and try and defend themselves to the bitter end. And this is exactly what's happening. This is Last Stand Hill, and these are the Zerg that are going to take it out. Man, Greater Spire on its way. Actually, I didn't even know that TLO had a hive. So Broodlords are going to be coming out. I get the feeling that as soon as Show sees the Broodlords, he's going to just GG. But of course, Infestitarian here going down. This factory is on fire. The only thing able to keep him in the game are tanks right now, and the only means of producing tanks is currently on fire. And looks like TLO is not going to be able to break him yet. Looks like TLO is not going to be able to break Show yet. That's what I meant to say. And the Roaches deburrowing to say hello to some very weak Marines, and of course the Marines are not like, nope, do not want, I'm going to have my stim instead. So yeah, this is just kind of a makeshift contain we have going here for TLO against Show. 3 Corruptors on their way, so that means the Broodlords are going to be in production pretty soon. Starport coming out. I'm still surprised that Show is even, you know, conceives the idea of being able to come back, but he's going for 2 Starports, so he might go and try to get some Banshee play going down. He doesn't have that much gas, but he does have quite a bit banked. He has 300. That's going to be enough to make at least 1 Banshee and research Cloak. But what do we have here from TLO? We have 3 Corruptors here, soon to be made into Broodlords as of now, but that one isn't. I think he doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough minerals for that. Well, he does now. There you go. See? Roaches, Lings, Broodlords, and Infestors. Oh my. So yeah, I think the game is pretty close to being over. As I said earlier, I'm calling it right now. As soon as Show sees the Broodlords, he is going to concede the game. And nice stutter step. Geez, Show has incredible micro with his Marines. I think, honestly, if I were to compare him to any other player when it comes to his stutter step, it could only be Marine that the other player I can think of that has that good of stutter step. Of course, I just might not have seen other players with as great stutter step. And the Broodlord's coming in. Okay, looks like I lost. It looks like Show is not going to concede when he sees the Broodlords. But he knows he's definitely in trouble. He has a single medevac, and he does have 2 starports, and he's making a tech lab, but he's not making a Viking. He needs to get a Viking out so he can handle those Broodlords. There are no means of anti. The only means of anti-air actually are infestors with fungal and infested Terran. And the roaches are going to come in too, and nope, they decide not to. Baneling landmine be made. Oh, Baneling landmine! Dang it! TLO, why didn't you just why didn't you just come, just sit back and let the Marines go over there? As you see, a Broodlord was lost, but there are so few Marines, and now TLO is just going to power his way into it. Fungal Growth's going off on all the Marines, and everything is dying as we can see here. Looks like the final stand of Show is finally, going down, and GG comes out for Show. Holy crap, that game was crazy, awesome, crazy, just insane. That's the word, insane. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this game as much as I enjoy casting it. You could probably tell how much I loved casting this game. Please subscribe to my channel. You'll see more games like this. I guarantee you, these are the kind of games I love. These are the kind of games I look for when casting for my YouTube channel, which, again, I'm going to have to put another shameless plug in. Subscribe to it, and also, if you choose to do so, you can follow me on Twitter at nerd_craft. Finally got it right all night. I've been mixing up with my live stream account, with my Twitch TV account, which is n_craft. I'm like at n no, you know, just a little trip ups every now and then. So yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoyed this game. This game was really awesome, and please subscribe to my channel. I think it's the 3rd time I said that. Now I just feel like it's getting ridiculous. I'll just keep saying it, you know, until you do it, and that's so jerk. Like I don't like YouTubers that do that. But anyway, again, I hope you guys enjoyed the game. That's the most important part. My name is Nerdcraft. That's it. I am out.